Let's talk about tonight's game against the Packers, players to watch and things to look for, as well as give you a brief update on my health. So let's talk about it, but first, how about those? What's up, guys? My name is Cole, aka the red-bearded QB of podcasts, or sometimes known as the Upside Down Flame. Kind of catchy. And I do daily news about the Kansas City Chiefs, so be like Kyle, who decided to sub to the red-bearded war chief the other day, then hit that like button if you want to see the Packers get absolutely throat punched by the Chiefs' backup players. And let's get into this video, starting with what little I know about the Packers game. Coach Reid isn't completely sure at the moment if Mahomes is playing in today's game against the Packers or not, but Mahomes has been practicing and all that per usual, like he's gonna. Coach is weighing the options and said it's not an easy decision to put him out there. And yeah, we honestly won't know who is playing and for how long until the game actually starts tonight, which is freaking odd to me, but it's preseason and it is what it is. For what it's worth, though, if you look at game 3 of preseason last year, Mahomes played 15 snaps and most of the first team starters played around that many snaps as well. So what is that? Maybe a couple series or more if there was a punt involved. So we may expect the same from them tonight, but I'm honestly not sure. And as far as the Packers go, they aren't playing any of their starters. So if Mahomes and company do not end up taking the field, it'll be against the Packers' second stringers. From what I understand, it's 0 starters. For sure, Rodgers and a lot of the All-Stars are not starting. And if we look at injuries, I can tell you that McCole Hardman and Chris Jones may play, as they were back at practice on Tuesday, and MVS may not play, as he did not practice Tuesday, though as of right now, we still don't know why he did not suit up and participate in practice on Tuesday. Hopefully we'll find out soon. The others who will more than likely not play today would be Rashad Fenton due to the groin injury he sustained against the Commanders, Carlos Dunlap, who has an inflamed Achilles, Juju Smith-Schuster, who will be out because of his knee injury, but he does seem to be getting better indeed, as you can see here in this video he posted on his social media yesterday, so that's definitely a good sign. Then there are other injuries as well that I covered in depth the other day, but in case you missed it, tight end Blake Bell had hip surgery and is out for who knows how long. Running back Derek Gore has a fractured thumb and got put on IR for the season. And then Lucas Niang is out with the knee, getting moved to the reserve PUP list with the opportunity to return after week 4. So there you go. Lots of fun information there for your brains. And it's also interesting to note that the Chiefs really don't need this game in order to whittle their roster down from 80 to 53 players next week, though I'm sure it doesn't hurt for them to look at a few players and see how they perform under pressure one last time. Coach Reid was actually asked about the game against the Packers roster cutdowns and if he expects some players to sneak in and make the team, or is the 53-man roster pretty much already set in his mind? And to that, Andy Reid said,
"Yeah, there's always that bottom third of your group there that you're looking at, and I mean, we grade these guys every play every day, so we're talking about it and going through it, and then Brett and I get together. He does it with his staff, and then he brings it to me, and then we get together and talk through it, and kind of coaches me up on what he thinks. As of today, this is what we're looking at. We'll see, where it goes from here."
So basically, he said a lot of words that meant, yes, we already know who we are cutting and who is making the 53-man roster. Brett Veach and his guys have known for a while now. The fun part is we don't, at least not fully, which makes these games fun to watch, to see how some of these guys do out there on the field. And don't get me wrong, they are watching some key battles, but they pretty much know their 53-man roster. This is what they do for a living. So let's chat about it briefly. Some players I think you should watch for on offense tonight would be running back Ronald Jones, especially with Derek Gore out for the season. I'm curious to see how they use Rojo, if at all. Last game, for example, he caught 1 pass and 0 rushes. It was very odd. He played like 9 snaps total, but now that Derek Gore is out for the season, he may very well be making this roster, and I did a video on that if you want to check it out, but very interesting. So watch Ronald Jones, because it's going to be an interesting one to look at for sure. For wide receivers, I'll be looking at DeRuse Fountain, Josh Gordon, and Cornell Powell, as they seem to be the 3 fighting for the wide receiver 6 spot. Some are boldly predicting Corey Coleman to be in the running as a dark horse candidate for the last wide receiver spot, but I don't think so personally. For the O-line, I want to see how Jerron Christian, Roderick Johnson, Prince Tega Winogo, and Darian Kennard perform, which is mainly the tackles, yes, but I feel that's where the Chiefs need backup depth the most on the O-line, and I have been the least impressed with the tackles on the backup O-line for the first 2 preseason games. It's been bad. On the defensive side of the ball, I want to watch furious George Karlaftis, of course, if he plays, then also Danny Shelton, Colin Saunders, and Taylor Stallworth. I feel Stallworth had a great game against the Bears, but Colin Saunders looked really good against the Commanders. And then Danny Shelton, that is one large man, and I'm curious to see when/how he's used. I think he's going to make the roster more than likely, but I don't know about Taylor Stallworth, so this is an important game for him. For linebackers, I'd like to see Elijah Lee, as he's someone I think should be making the roster ahead of Jermaine Carter. And then, of course, I want to see some Leo Chanel action as well. Why not? He's looked great in both preseason games so far. And for cornerbacks, I want to watch both Jalen Watson and Joshua Williams in particular with Rashad Fenton out. I'm curious to see that if the first team defense plays, who will be out there in Fenton's stead and how they will look. As far as safeties are concerned, I'd like to see Deion Bush attempting to knock someone into next week again. And then also Brian Cook as well. I want to see him out there knocking people around like pinballs at a bowling alley, as he looks solid when we've been able to see him on the broadcast angles. So there you go, just a few players from almost every position group I'm going to be watching for tonight, many of them possibly on the bubble, and will be playing tonight like their jobs depend on it, because they do, even though, as I stated earlier, Andy Reid and company already pretty much know who's making the 53-man roster. I was going to be going live during the game tonight, but due to my health issues flaring up, I may only just go live after the game to do a reaction. So to me, it's way less intimidating to go live for about an hour and a half after the game than a full 3 hours during the game when I'm not sure how I'm going to be feeling tonight. So that's what things are probably going to be looking like tonight. Thanks for your patience with me and these health issues. I have a follow-up appointment with the doc next week as I look for answers and figure out the best way to move forward. So again, thanks for the patience. I know my upload times are pretty irregular. I miss random days and stuff like that. And I still work for my day job. So I'm trying to balance it all and sometimes just fall short. In a perfect world, I drop my videos every day at a certain time, but due to the fact I have to work a lot of my day in bed, it's difficult to work as fast as I'd like and affects the timing of everything, but this should hopefully just be temporary and, Lord willing, over soon. Make sure to leave a bearded comment or a super thanks to potentially be featured in an upcoming vid. Sub, like, you know the deal. Then check out this video here, pew pew, which is from KCSN, in which they do a nice breakdown of things they are looking for during tonight's game. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go. How about those?